Yo, what's the scoop? Penis.
Bruh. It's a new month.
It's gonna be May.
Well, that was officially one of the weirdest shit I think I've ever watched. So back in January of 2018, Poppy released what was supposed to be YouTube Red series called simply I'm Poppy. It was supposed to mainly, I guess, be like the graphic novel, take you through how she became who she became, and whatnot, although it is different from the graphic novel from what I'm seeing. Now, this is seen as a surreal comedy web television series starring American actress, singer, and YouTube personality Poppy. The pilot episode premiered at the Sundance Film Festival on January 23rd, 2018, 2 days before its release to YouTube Red. It says, at the time, the producer expected further episodes. This is what happened. It says Poppy has described the series as being based on real experiences and that the producers are just telling what it's like to be in Hollywood. However, after the pilot episode aired, nothing really came of it anymore, and it says the future of the series is currently unknown as Poppy and Titanic Sinclair parted ways creatively in late 2019. So I went and looked at the first episode, the only episode I guess I can say at this point, just to kind of see what was, to be expected of this series that had more episodes. I'm assuming it was going to be like a one season and done thing, like they were planning a season to do it and get through it, and just never got to that point. It's a 24-minute long episode, and basically it starts off really, really dark, but after reading her graphic novel, I now know that she's not all bright and sunshiny all the time, especially early on, as it seems this random woman just gets killed at the beginning because I guess this Ivan Cross guy, who we'll meet later, thought that she would end up being the chosen one, but it doesn't show her getting killed, but I would assume it because the last shot we get is of him licking her and holding a knife to her chest before we see Poppy just pop up out of nowhere, doing the regular videos that she usually does. It's just weird setup, but seems important to what the series was supposed to be. Then, you get these producers talking about Poppy and this and that, and like, this is all she does, but when they find out the views she gets, they're like, boom, we need to get her in a meeting, we need to get her a TV show right away. So Poppy gets picked to have the TV show, they all have a good time, and then she's like, I don't know if it's hallucinating, them like laughing evilly, and then she does this, and then we cut to Charlotte. Yes, the mannequin's back at her own home. Apparently she can do all human things, like get on a computer, drive a car, and, basically just interact with human beings. She is jealous, obviously, and she's trying to, I guess you can say, mimic Poppy's style in this case because she's seeing it's what'll get the clicks and views. She starts vlogging like Poppy does, and nothing really comes of it for her. This is kind of like the B story.
Yankee with no brim!
Meanwhile, after all that stuff happens in the record label, Poppy gets to sing a song, which is This Real?
Is this real? Could it be everything I've ever dreamed?
Brim!
I'm assuming we were maybe going to get a little bit more mini songs if the series would have continued on, but Is This Real is the only song we got from this series. And in this, Poppy ends up realizing that, I keep dropping shit. Poppy keeps realizes, is this real? Did I just do what I think I did? And then all of a sudden she gets teleported down to hell where she meets Satan, and then she signs her soul away to Satan because, there's that whole myth that goes around that you get famous by selling your soul to Satan and whatever, and I guess she signs it and then realizes what she's done because she does this.
Oh no.
Brim!
Maybe insinuating that, it's too late to turn back now because, well, once you sign that contract, there's no way out of it. And then during this whole thing, you know, she is in the middle of recording her own TV show. It turns out that Charlotte was actually the one that put Poppy in this position. She apparently just has the producer's phone number asking her how she's doing. He said, oh, Poppy's doing great and all this stuff, which just gets Charlotte more riled up. So she ends up going to like this, not necessarily yoga crew, it's more like one of those like the mind hippies, I like to call them. And, you know, in the end, in the middle of all this, Ivan meets with Poppy, basically says, hey, you'll be in good hands with me, when in all reality, well, you'll see in a second, she finds out that she's the chosen one. Everybody finds out that she's the chosen one. And then during this time, Charlotte's crew tries to break in and I guess kidnap Poppy. I don't really know their intentions with Poppy, whether it's good intentions or bad intentions, but during this whole scuffle, they realize that she's gone, and it turns out Ivan ended up taking her. But here's Ivan coming out as this, or seeming like he is this good guy trying to help her, and, she ends up waking up in what seems to be a hospital, and she's being treated. Also, she has a friend called Rose, and it's just Rose Milk. That's irrelevant to the story in itself, though.
Brim!
We come to find out that after all this, Ivan kisses her on the forehead, and we find out that she's locked in her room, and it's in Ivan's house, and now we realize that in this series, Ivan is supposed to be the bad guy, if it wasn't obvious from the first scene. The Lucius Malfoy motherfucker, of course he's going to be the bad guy. Why wouldn't he be the bad guy? So, yeah, he basically, though, through this whole time, tells Poppy, it's just, the reason nobody else really wants you is because people think you stand for chaos, and she's like, I stand for sunshine and all this stuff, and at this point in time we realize, oh, he's just using her for the so-called chaos that she would end up starting, I guess. And then the last thing we really get is Charlotte going and talking to a therapist, and then she goes to like this hairstylist and dyes her hair bleach blonde.
I'm bleach blonde, baby.
You know, like Poppy did when she became that Poppy or whatever.
Brim!
At the end, as well, Ivan makes it official that Poppy is the chosen one by cutting his hand right down the middle, as you would do, and wiping his blood on a picture of Poppy, and that's basically where we're left off. We're left off on this cliffhanger that, does make you end up going, oh my god, what do these other episodes look like? Who knows? Maybe these other episodes were still in the middle of production and just scrapped throughout this whole thing. Because I only seen 2 reviews for this, and this is basically what was said. Let me go back to them. Here we go. The Hollywood Reporter critic Daniel Feinberg said he found the pilot episode inspired and distinctive, but couldn't imagine the series holding up for another episode. The Verge's Addie Robertson said it didn't have the same hypnotic and ambiguous simplicity that many of Poppy's videos do, and that the episodes were not weird enough. Julie Alexander from Polygon said it was the proof that YouTube Red could be great, characterizing the series as enjoyable and authentically YouTube. So there was a couple of criticisms, mainly people thinking that it couldn't hold up, and some people maybe speculate that that's why the series didn't take off, was because, sure, it seemed good and had well intentions, it was very well put together, which it was, but it just, when you're watching it, it just doesn't feel, you're not getting that same feeling you would watching her videos separately, but you kind of get an understanding where the ideas to her old videos come from. And of course this is directed and written by Titanic Sinclair, of all people, but that's pretty much another reason it's speculated that the rest of the series, I should say, may not see the light of day, because as I mentioned here, in around November of 2019, Poppy and Titanic parted ways, split up, and now she's doing her own thing, and with this new chapter she started, I don't know if she wants to put that out there. I don't know. She's going to start a new series. She's already got another graphic novel coming out that's supposed to be the sequel to her first one. So at this point I kind of think she's going to tell a story through graphic novel, just because I guess it would be a little bit easier for her to do that in this sense. But yeah, it was very interesting. It was enjoyable. It did leave me going, wow, I wish this series would have still went on so I can see how it ended. But you're just going to be left on a major cliffhanger. But for the most part, it's a good preview into what we were supposed to expect with Poppy's videos coming up. And it's based on a real life experience that she had. And of course, it does have the weirdness mixed in to what to expect from her videos. But yeah, that's about it. So basically, to recap what happens, this woman gets killed at the beginning because apparently she was supposed to be the chosen one but didn't live up to it. Ivan killed her, and then ends up, Poppy gets seen by this producer, this director, and they're, coming up with an idea for a TV show. She sells her soul to Satan. Charlotte gets jealous. Poppy meets Ivan, and during this whole thing, this crew tries to kidnap Poppy. Ivan got her, and he's making it out like he's going to help her, save her, and that he's the good guy. And in the end, we find out that that's not true, and now Charlotte's gone batshit crazy and is trying to replicate everything Poppy does, while also finding out that Poppy is the chosen one. So, yeah, there would have been a lot to take in, because, like I said, other than the Poppy story and whatnot, there is a Charlotte story, there is the B story that goes along with this, so it would have been interesting to see where both of those stories go. Would it have been the downfall of those two, or would they have come together and realized, shit, this isn't what we want to do, we're being controlled to the fullest, or would it have just been, I don't know. I feel like it has similarities to the graphic novel, because she meets someone who says he's the good guy. In all realness, they're the bad guy, and it turns out the people that first met her were actually the better people, even though they still have their downfalls because Hollywood does weird stuff to people. But yeah, you guys can tell me in the comments below, what did you think if you've seen it before? It's a couple years old at this point, but I figure for a special episode where I usually react to Poppy on the commentary channel, I do it every third video. I do something like this, that way we're not all over the place with different videos. Trust me, I have other videos that I haven't seen before of hers that I want to get in a video. But I just thought this would be interesting, because I don't see a lot of people that talk about the series, go through it, and say what they think would have happened had the series continued. So that's it for me, guys. Please subscribe down below. Stay safe out there. Wash your damn hands. And until then, I will catch you all in the next one.
Penis.
May